And we're live. Good afternoon. My name is Thomas Kelly, and I'm Associate Director of Residence Life here at Worcester State. And this is Hangouts Before You Woo Life. Hangouts Before You Woo Life is an online web show geared towards new incoming students here at Worcester State. Each week, we're here to discuss the important topics that are part of your transition to the institution. As always, if you miss an episode of Hangouts Before You Woo Life, you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/WSUResLife. We have a playlist. It's called Hangouts Before You Woo Life. So that's where they all are. All right, so let's get started. I'm excited today to be joined by Christy McNamara. I know, right? Yeah. So this is Christy McNamara. She's Associate Director of the Office of Student Involvement and Leadership Development, also known as OSILD here on campus. So long name, acronym, we get there. So you may have met Christy at orientation. You may not have. So here's your opportunity. So Christy, tell all the viewers at home a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm the Associate Director in the office, and I actually oversee student government and student senate, many of the different student organizations that we have. I work closely with our student events committee, as well as our Leadership Honor Society. I also oversee the orientation program, as TK had just mentioned, as well as a lot of the different areas within the Student Center I also oversee. So I have a lot going on. A lot of different areas of my job.
Great, that's awesome. So you know it, and you also know it. Each week we get some planned questions, so we're gonna kind of jump to those questions. So what exactly does the Office of Student Involvement and Leadership Development do?
Okay. So our office has many different components, kind of like my job description.
Yeah, all right.
So first off, we work with all the student organizations. So we have over 30 different student organizations here, and that plan events specifically for you, all the students here. So we help them plan the events, we meet with them, we do all the advising, things like that. The other area that we have is student leadership. So to support the student leaders in those organizations, we do provide a lot of different leadership programs, as well as leadership programs for students that are first or second year students, to kind of get them involved in different leadership activities that we have. The other area that we oversee is the Student Center. So the Student Center is the main hub of activity on campus for all of our student organizations, but we also have many different areas within the building that we oversee, as well as we provide jobs for a lot of students on campus. The other area is commuter services. So obviously we're talking Res Life today, so it's a little different, but we do offer lots of different services for commuters here, and that is actually out of our office. And the last area is orientation. So we oversee all of the different orientation programs.
Great. All right. So you talked a little bit about this, but so what sort of student organizations do we have at Worcester State, and how many are there?
Okay. So we do have over 30, like I mentioned. So we have many different types. We have major organizations, which are larger organizations on campus with larger budgets, so that way they can plan lots of different activities for students. We have about 10 to 12 of those. Then we have smaller groups. They're called special interest groups that really revolve around different majors or different special interests. They're usually smaller groups. We usually have lots of new ones that start every year, and students can start a club anytime they want. The other area that we have is club sports. So we have 4 different active club sports right now. They fall under our office, not athletics. So we work with them to kind of get them going when they want to start up on campus and keep active with club sports, not varsity. And then we also have some other areas, like we oversee an honor society, Omicron Delta Kappa, which is our leadership honor society. And we also have class committees that fall under our student government. And it's similar to class officers or student councils. In high school, we actually have class committees here for the junior and senior class. So those are the different areas of involvement that we do have.
Great. All right. So what are ways the students can learn more about these organizations and how to kind of get involved with them?
Okay. So one of the things that we promote specifically for first year students, but any student is encouraged to attend, is our club kickoff. So we have 2 club kickoffs every year. And they always fall within the first week or 2 of the semester. The first one will be during our welcome week. We have a full week and a half or so, a little longer than a week, of events. Of events for first year students, as well as any other students on campus. And September 13th, which is a Wednesday, is going to be when our club kickoff is. And that is 11 to 2 p.m. in the Student Center Lancer Landing patio right outside the Student Center. And so basically what the fair is, it's kind of similar to like a college fair. So every club has a table that wants to participate to show off some of the things that they do, the different programs to tell students what they're all about, to get them involved, to invite them to different events, as well as the first meeting that they're going to have for their group. So it's a great place for first-year students or any student to go see the different clubs that we do have and see what is of interest and kind of sign up. There's no obligation, so if you do put your name on a sign-up sheet, doesn't mean you have to join the group, but it's a way to get more information and kind of see what's out there.
Great.
So that's one of the ways. The other thing is our website, as well as all of our social media. You can kind of see all the different organizations that we have, all the different programs that are going on. But I say the Club Kickoff is the best place to get going.
Absolutely, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with being interested in multiple clubs or organizations and trying to get as much information that you can from them. Just figure out exactly where your level of involvement should be.
No limit to how many you can join.
Exactly. Yeah. No limitations.
Don't do too much.
Just do enough. All right.
Do enough.
All right. So what kind of programs and events does OSILD or organizations specifically traditionally offer throughout the year?
Sure. So there are a lot of different traditional events. As I mentioned, Welcome Week. So our office works with many of the student organizations, even Residence Life, to put on several events for the first 7 to 10 days that students are on campus. Everything from comedians to Quad Fest, I believe we're working with Residence Life and Food Service on, to I think we're doing a block party to work with athletics to get people excited about the first football game that's home. So there's many different type of events that are going to be happening during Welcome Week. And that's a great way to kind of check out a little smattering of everything that kind of happens throughout the year. Throughout the year, we do many different things. In addition to those few, we do lots of different lectures. We do a lot of different late night activities with Residence Life and some of our student organizations. We do a lot of novelties like make things and take away, a lot of free food, which is really, really important, TK. Everybody wants free food.
Now.
Thing out there, that students want, our student organizations are willing to plan as well as our office. We do also have some other traditional events that happen, like a multicultural festival that happens from our Third World Alliance group in April. We have many different trips put on by our student events committee throughout the year, as well as Winter Week and Spring Week. Those are some of our highlighted weeks.
Awesome. So there's a lot going on.
A lot going on.
Great.
If somebody says that there's nothing going on, TK, they're lying.
There is always something going on. You just need to make sure you look. All right. So we talked a lot about clubs and organizations. Let's talk a little bit about leadership opportunities. So can you tell everyone a little bit about the student leadership opportunities that exist currently?
Sure. So we have a few different opportunities, a few different structured opportunities for students that are either involved in clubs or not, to kind of learn a little bit about themselves and to gain some leadership skills that will help them throughout their 4 or 5 years or so at the institution as well as beyond. Our first program is what we call HELP. It's our Helping Emerging Leaders Progress program. It's specifically designed for first and second year students. Students are nominated by faculty, staff, or fellow students to take part in this particular program. It's a 6-week program, typically held in the springtime. We do 2 different tracks, 2 different times during the week. And topics include personal leadership, group dynamics, ethics, different things like that. So students can kind of learn about themselves, but also learn how to work with other people. Communication's a big one, conflict resolution. So we really think those are important skills for students to have first and second year to get the base to learn how to become a better leader.
Sure.
The second type of program that we have that follows up our HELP program is what we call AOL. It's Art of Leadership. People that have gone through the actual HELP program are invited to take part in the AOL program, which is typically held in the fall. It's another 6-week program. A smaller group of students usually take part in this, so it's a little bit more of an intimate setting. And they're actually advanced topics. So building off of what we've done in HELP, we have different topics for the AOL, such as advanced conflict resolution. We've done gender and leadership before, things like that, networking, resumes, things like that. So it's a little bit more advanced than for the first and second year student program. So that's a great program to get involved with. The second or third program really that we like to highlight is our Student Leader Getaway. So one of the things that we offer specifically for our leaders that are involved in clubs is a weekend away at a camp out in Connecticut where we take about 36 students or so to kind of spend the weekend out in the woods. I don't love the woods, TK, but I do go.
Some people do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm the
it's
only
good.
one. And we do many different activities throughout the weekend for you to learn a lot more about yourself as a leader, as well as to kind of network with the different other student groups that are going to be there, the different leaders. So it's a great opportunity to do something a little different and to dig deep down into your leadership skills.
That's great. So you can get involved with the club or organization. You can take it to that next level, develop your leadership skills a little bit more. So that's awesome. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the student center itself, the structure. So tell everyone a little bit about our student center here.
The hub of the campus.
The hub. It's in the center.
Yeah, it is literally.
It's literally in the center.
So the student center, located in the center of the campus, is a building that houses our office. So our office is actually located on the second floor of the student center in the Office of Student Involvement and Leadership Development. And we oversee the entire building. So what does that mean for you? Things that are in the building that are actually really important, besides jobs, which I'll talk about in a moment, is we actually have, very important, we actually have a print center that is for students and student organizations to use. We have an information desk where you can buy tickets to different events that the student organizations are holding, or VPA, Visual Performing Arts events that are happening, as well as different trips. We also have on the first floor food court. That's one of our 2 eating areas within the student center. Also on the first floor, we do have a lot of lounge space that we recently kind of upgraded in our areas, as well as some meeting space. The second floor, as I mentioned, does house our office, as well as conference and event services and the Binyenda Center for Community Service and Civic Engagement. And it also has our commuter services office, which I mentioned earlier, and our main living room of the campus, which is our commuter, not just limited to commuters, but our commuter lounge. It's also got pool tables, ping pong, and it's a real center of activity in that building. It's always going on.
Very popular.
Yes. On the top floor, we have many different services. I won't go through all of them because you can see it on our website. But we also have a lot of meeting space, and our Lancer Loft, which is our late night or later night dining option, is also on the 3rd floor of our building. So there's many different areas within the student center that we encourage students to really come in and hang out. Even if you're a resident student, you can still hang out in our building.
Yeah.
And most of those areas do provide jobs too. And in a lot of them, we actually oversee the jobs. So we actually hire about 40 or so students each year for the different work areas that we have. And we do a majority of our hiring in April. So right now we are actually full, but I encourage you to come by at the end of this semester. There may be a few openings that we're looking for students, but definitely next semester in April after registration, we do a bulk of our hiring.
Awesome. There you go. 40 positions.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at us. A lot.
It's a lot.
There it is in the hub.
And they're non-work study too.
That's
so
good.
Yeah, that's great. A lot of people
that's good to know.
Just
yeah,
work
so
study.
It's not limited to just work study.
Yeah.
Great. All right, so I got to ask the question because it has to do with your office, but
Let's do it.
So I know residents may not need to know about this because they live on campus here with us in Residence Life, but tell us a little bit about the services that are offered through for commuter students.
Sure. So as I mentioned, our commuter services office is located on the 2nd floor of the student center in the living room, which is the main commuter lounge. I did talk about what's already in the commuter lounge, but we also have a commuter services coordinator that is housed in that office, in that lounge as well. And she actually works with our commuter advisory board, which is our main programming board for commuter programming. And she does a whole lot of programming herself through commuter services. They actually pair together and do a lot of different events throughout the year for commuters, but not just limited to commuters, because we don't exclude residents from our commuter programs as well. But we have Commuter Appreciation Week and some specific timing of commuter programming so that commuters can enjoy some programming during the daytime as well as in the evening. So we do a lot of different things. We also have an off-campus housing list that we help students out with if it's needed as well as some other smaller services that we have. So.
But you can come to us for housing.
Of course.
If need be.
So important.
Disclaimer. All right, great. So a lot of our students have already gone through orientation, so they were able to experience that amazing program. Right. If they wanted the opportunity to get involved with orientation in the future, what would that sort of process look like?
Sure, that's a great question. It was an amazing program, by the way.
Yes, it was. I was there 2 times.
So we hire we hire 22 orientation leaders in the spring semester. So in January, early February, applications come out through our office to hire orientation leaders. It's a month that you have to fill out the application, get some references, and get back to us. And then there is a process to go through to get hired. We do have a lot of interest usually for orientation leader positions. So I encourage all of you to apply if you're interested, if you had a great time at orientation or want to try something different in regards to leadership. You can be a first-year student applying, sophomore, junior, it doesn't matter. We'll take everybody to apply, and it's a great program to be involved in. The students that are involved are always really happy that they took their summer, part of their summer anyway, to be involved. So that'll be coming out at the end of January next year.
Awesome. All right. So finally, we talked about so much. We did so quickly too. So if students are looking for of what's going on with OSIL and clubs and organizations, what are some of the best ways where they can get that information?
So of course, I know I'm old. I'm an old fogey at this point, but social media, of course, is our main way of getting the word out to students. We have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, so you can check us out on there. The other way is we do actually bi-weekly email that gets sent out to students from OSIL, from our office. That kind of tells you what's going on for that particular week or some upcoming events. We also do a newsletter every Friday or so with some highlighted events. So that's something that people really need to check their Worcester State email because a lot of the different events are highlighted there. Of course, we still do the traditional posters and flyers, TK, and have sandwich boards everywhere. But I suggest those few ways to get the word out, see what's going on.
I was worried based on how you prefaced that question. I was like, if you want to find out what's going on, you have to fax them.
I'm not that old.
I just didn't know what you were going to say.
Nah.
All right. Well, those were all of our questions. So great. As always, when we wrap up, people like, what's the one takeaway? What's the most important thing you want to make sure new students know? So specifically about getting involved through OSIL, what's the one thing you really want to make sure our new students know?
Well, I think, and I said this at parent orientation, I said this at first-year student orientation, I think it's really important for students to get involved in at least one activity outside of the classroom. Whether it's through our office in a club or organization or orientation, or whether it's through residence life and becoming a resident assistant, or even in athletics, becoming involved with a sport or intramurals. I think it's really important to branch out. I know, obviously, they're here for their major and their classes, but it's really important to gain the skills to get out in the workplace after you leave here someday, and you get those outside of the classroom, not just inside. So I encourage you to get involved in at least one activity here.
Awesome. Completely agree.
I know.
All right. Well, that's everything. So thanks for hanging out with me.
Exciting.
This was a great time. I had a blast. We'll be back again next week. We'll be joined by academic success for the third time. So this is the last time with academic success. 3 times. I just realized that as I said, I was like,
we're the fun office. Why did they get 3 shots?
I'm the fun office, and they get, there you go, 21 episodes.
All right.
So as always, if you miss a hangout, you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/WSUResLife. We have a playlist. It's called Hangouts Before Life. That's where all of our episodes go. We have social media at WSUResLife, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram. You can like us on
Wow.
We have boards.
Look at you with boards.
Take notes. Take that. That's a good idea.
I will.
You can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/WooLife. As always, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you next week.